it is time for the SEC Power Rankings. I'm excited to see who ends up number one. Let's knock it out from the bottom to the beginning. Who is now the best team in the SEC? And it's very much up for debate, as we'll put it on there. But the poll question right now, who gets preferential treatment from the SEC? Kirby Smart, 40%, Texas, 60%. All right, Caleb, let's run through our first 5 or 6, and I'll tell you if I got a big disagreement.
All right, so number 16, and he's just not praying hard enough, Hugh Freeze. God is not on his side right now.
That's a little bit, I don't know, inconsiderate of him and his faith, but I think you're right.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I need to show Hugh Freeze a lot more respect. He's one of the finest Christian men this country's ever seen. Okay.
Yes.
Very, very selfless man. So Hugh Freeze and Auburn are down at number 16. They blow a lead to Missouri. Yeah, you know that whole Hugh Freeze, I don't need to go get a quarterback in the transfer portal because I'm a genius and I can just make Peyton Thornton work out. He should just be permanently on my football IQ for doing that. Even if he didn't make a dumb decision in a game, just that all-season decision alone, he should make my list.
Probably. Our poll question, best team in the SEC is Texas, Georgia, LSU, or Tennessee. Vote now. All right, Caleb, all right. Who's next in the ranking?
Number 15, I know they have the win over Ole Miss, but Kentucky's quit on their team. They're down I got them at number 15 now. The way they just got draxed by Florida. I think Kentucky could lose if they played a team on a neutral field this Saturday. I think they might be an underdog against any team except Auburn, and they may be an underdog to Auburn.
All right, who's next, Caleb?
They keep losing. They're 1-6, 1-7, whatever. But I don't care. I got Mississippi State up to number 14 because they played Georgia tight and then they played Texas A&M tight. I think Mississippi State is turning a corner. They're just playing tough teams as they're turning that corner. So I would take Mississippi State over Kentucky or Auburn.
By the way, the poll question that was a little bit earlier in the program is how many times can Dave bench press Caleb's body weight? So Caleb, do you 5 or less, 10 or more, 6 or more? 5 or less, 1. How much do you weigh?
I weigh about 150 pounds.
I can do that 20 times. All right, Caleb, who's next?
Sorry, I just got to play this real quick. Hugh and Urban are deacons at the same church. That's a good one. All right, so next. All right, so I'm about to number 13. Dropping to number 13 is Oklahoma. That's a bad football team. And did you see they fired their offensive coordinator, Seth Littrell, 6 years into the year?
Typically not a good move midway through the season, but that's where Oklahoma has gone. And don't tune into this station if you want to get into is Josh Heupel going to go to Oklahoma? Because we have laid out why he is not going to go to Oklahoma. I think somebody else tried to stir up that over the weekend. Somebody compared them to me. I mean, I'm the one that's told you the whole time that the two parties don't get along and still don't like each other, so it's not going to happen. All right, who's next, Caleb?
Yep. Very true. All right, number 12, we got Arkansas. Number 12, they did get blown out by LSU. I told you guys to stay away from that Arkansas-LSU game. My heart went, not my heart, my default, I picked LSU to cover. They ended up covering and dominating. Arkansas went back to being Arkansas. They were just good for 1 week when they played Tennessee. And number 11, I know they looked ugly against Ball State, but Vanderbilt still won. I can't drop them too much. You nailed that one, Dave. You said Vanderbilt just was going to be feeling themselves a little too much, and they were going to have an ugly win against Ball State.
Yep, still a good football team, though. I mean, that's a game that Vanderbilt, if they're so high off the win against Alabama, that they might lose in the next coming weeks. But they're fundamentally a good football team, not a fluky football team, which sounds crazy to say about Vanderbilt.
Yep. Number 10, I told you this last week, Dave, and I think the Tennessee game, Florida's turning a corner under Billy Napier. They beat Kentucky 48-20. The problem is Florida's got about 5 ranked teams left on their schedule, so they're about to lose like 5 straight, and then he's going to get fired. But they'll get to close out with the win against Florida State, which is the worst team ever
He's
now.
So detail-oriented. All right,
very detail-oriented. All right, now, so that's the 10 that are just the bottom 10. The next 9 are all in the college football playoff race. So right at number 9, I got Ole Miss. They did lose over the week. I'm sorry, they didn't play over the weekend, so they're just default at number 9 right now because they lost from their last time out. Number 8, Missouri. It was ugly, but Missouri still beat Auburn, and Missouri still only has 1 loss, and that has to count for something. Not a bad loss either to Texas A&M.
Okay, if I had to make you pick between those two teams, Ole Miss or Missouri, who doesn't make the college football playoff?
Oh, Ole Miss because their schedule's so much harder. Missouri has got the easiest GED schedule of all time. Okay,
Okay.
so
All right. I don't believe in Ole Miss's roster because they've got too many mercenaries now that things have gone south.
and that's the other part.
I don't believe in Eli Drinkwitz. So to me, it's about a
But
50-50
it
toss
does seem like Missouri has more of a they play for each other culture, don't they? As much as you don't like them, they do play for each other at Missouri.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that or they put you in the chimpanzee cage and they rip your face off. I mean,
There you
that's
go.
seriously, I mean, that's the one state where you can have a chimp as a pet. I had nightmares, Caleb. It's troubling. Don't watch it. What's next?
Number 7, and I was wrong because this team's not a college football playoff contender, but they are in the top half of the SEC right now. But South Carolina, them blowing out Oklahoma and almost beating Alabama, Dave, I can't ignore what they've done the last 2 weeks. And if they had a coach with a brain, they could actually only have one loss right now.
Hey now.
All right. By the way, the cop had to shoot that chimp, shot him twice, and the chimp kept coming.
Dave's
Anyway.
never.
Anyway.
Oh, so he's like Michael Myers.
I'm serious. I had like nightmares last night. I'm at the gym thinking a chimp's going to run around the corner and attack me this morning. All right. What do you got?
All right, so number 6 is Alabama. I dropped Alabama to number 6. I mean, the loss to Vanderbilt, the ugly win over South Carolina, and then the loss to Tennessee. I'm going to go further into this later, but I think the panic is oversetting in Alabama, largely because Alabama fans nor players understand the landscape of college football today.
Here's the other thing to remember. Yeah, you ask a lot of donors who had not given money to NIL, and trust me, they're as steadfast as some old-fashioned Tennessee donors that don't think you should get paid to play, that think you should just show up and earn your scholarship and love it and not worry about the fact that you can't eat on Sunday nights at times, which has been the case with some of Tennessee's best teams. So they're not going to like it. They're not going to throw more money at it when Kalen DeBoer comes to them and says, hey, I need more money. Well, what did the money we gave you last year to get like Caden Proctor back? What did that do? I don't think their NIL is in good shape. I got to be honest with you. It's been a game of a series of streaks. Don't be surprised if Tennessee wins about 6 or 8 against Alabama. Caleb, who's next?
Totally agree. All right, so number 5 is Texas A&M. I got them at number 5 now. I know they struggled with Mississippi State for a while, but they keep winning, and I told you guys that Ivy League hire would work out. Number 4, Texas is down to number 4. I know they lost at home, lost to Georgia significantly, but they're still a playoff contender. Number 3 is Tennessee. I got Tennessee number 3 in my power rankings. Beating Alabama matters. Whatever, hook or crook, whatever you want to say. They're 6-1 going into a bye week with wins over Florida and Alabama. Number 2, though, is the LSU homer that I am. I have LSU at number 2. And y'all can hate me for that, but LSU is the second best team in the SEC right now. And I don't think it's really debatable. And number 1 is the Dogs. Georgia has taken back the top spot in the SEC.
Okay. Out of that top 5, who do you feel best about making the college football playoff and worst?
I think I feel best about Georgia making the college football playoff. And that's just based on their talent and also that they get Tennessee at home.
Okay, and worst?
Worst, I'm going to say LSU only because as much as I do believe they're doing well right now, Dave, it just seems like Brian Kelly is like nobody's more capable of a choke job at the worst time than Brian Kelly.